Hi everyone, I'm going to discuss the lesson 7 in developmental reading 1, which is comprehension, text, structures, and teaching procedures. And what is comprehension? It is a constructive, interactive process involving three factors: the reader, the text, and the context in which the text is read. And for the nature of text, there are content, where the students are prepared for the content when the teacher activates a schema or builds a background. However, they also have to interact with a structure. And for the propositions, it is combined, deleted, and integrated to form a macro structure. And for the macro structure, it is a running summary of the text, and for the narrative text and story schema, there are setting, characters, plot in which there are story problem, main characters, goals, principal, episode, and resolution. What is story grammar? It is a series of rules designed to show how the parts of a story are interrelated. So in the story map, there are setting, characters, problem, goal, plot, and outcome. For the setting, includes where does the story take place and when does the story take place. For the characters, it includes who are the main people in the story. For the problem, what problems does the main characters face? And for the goal, what is the main character's goal, or what is he or she trying to do? And for the plot, what are the main things that happened in the story? And for the last one, which is outcome, how was the story problem resolved? So for the part 2, there are expository text. It is a schema for expository text. Develops later. It is greater variety of patterns. It is less predictable and maybe more difficult. And there are types of expository text structures. For the number 1, enumeration description. It is a lists details about a subject without giving any cause, effect, or time relationship among them. Included in this category are structures that describe or give examples and define concepts. For example, or for instance. Number 2, time sequence. It is a similar to enumeration. However, time order is specified. Like after, today, afterward, tomorrow, before, first, next, second, then, third, and then finally, earlier, dates, or later. For the number 3, explanation process, it tells how something works, such as how coal is formed, how a diesel engine works, or how a bill becomes law. Includes some of the same signal words such those found in a time sequence structure. And for the number 4, comparison contrast, it presents differences and or similarities like although, but, however, similar, different from on the one hand or on the other hand. And for the problem solution, it is followed by a possible solution or series of solutions like the problem and the solution. And the last one is cause effect. It is presented along with a single cause or a series of causes like because, cause, effect, therefore, since, as a result, thus, for this reason, or consequently. Next is graphic organizer for enumeration, description, structure. It is a using narrative and expository text for mutual support. To read narrative piece first before complex, and it can read expository first to introduce novels. So what is graphic organizers. It is a pictorial way of constructing knowledge and organizing information. They help students convert and compress a lot of seemingly disjointed information into a structured or simple to read or graphic display. And this is an example of graphic organizer for enumeration, description, structure. In the sentence, basketball today is a fast-paced, exciting game. So there are related information to that sentence like excellent dribbling, long jump shots, slam dunks, and great defense. For the part 3, the role of questions in comprehension, it develops concepts, background, reasoning, higher level thinking. It fosters understanding and retention. It is a planning questions, and there are 4 before reading, during reading, after reading, embedded questions. For before reading, it is activate schema and set purpose. In during reading, it helps process text. In after reading, it helps organize and summarize. In the embedded questions, it helps summarize, reflect, and monitor. Types of questions, there are comprehending, organizing, elaborating, and monitoring. And according to accountability to learning community, accountability to knowledge, accountability to rigorous thinking. And for the think, pair, share, it turn and talk is simplified version. For the part 4, framework for fostering comprehension, for guided reading or directed reading activity, it is a introducing the text where it is to develop background, concepts, vocabulary, and strategies. There are also a setting purpose and building interest, which are silent reading, discussion, revisiting, and extending. For the guided reading, all students may need more support, and advanced students may need less support. Teachers must complete content analysis and use story elements mapped with fiction. For directed reading thinking activity or DRTA, more students directed than guided reading. And for the part 4, the close procedure, for the nature and purpose of clause is a so what is a clause procedure? It is a technique for deleting words from a passage so that the reader is forced to use background experience, knowledge of syntax, vocabulary, interest, and generally higher order thinking skills to fill in the blank and complete the thought. And for the nature and purpose of clause, there are assessing readability, testing, developing comprehension. For the classic clause, it is a teacher deletes words at random. For a scoring clause, where the discussions for comprehension. And for the constructing clause exercises, it is there are number of deletions, types of deletions, location of deletions. And for the variations, there are oral, word masking, and modified. For the part 6, critical reading. So there are nature and importance. It is a affective and cognitive skills. It uses of language, understanding factual statements and opinions, recognizing author's purpose. So inform or entertain and persuade. And there are also drawing logical conclusions and judging sources. For the part 7, tools for the classroom. So these are some examples of expository text structures. And for the sequence, this is an illustration for the sequence, which includes first, next, then, after, finally, before, during, and for the cause and effect. This is how you're going to illustrate the structure of expository text, which includes because, since, due to, as a result, unless, so, therefore, or reason and cause. And for the compare and contrast, this is an example of how you illustrate the text structure. Includes like, unlike, different, same as, but, similar, both, instead of, however, or more or less. And for the description, this is also how you're going to illustrate the expository text structure, such as, for instance, such as, including, and the last one is the problem and solution. This is how you're going to illustrate, such as the problem is to solve this, so that solution one way, or the question is. And that's all for the lesson 7. Thank you.